Hello everyone and welcome to my second episode of Speedrunners and You. This time, I'm going to talk about the importance of implementing scripts in your runs and understanding our damage in this department. Scripts are one of the core aspects of a run, and probably one of the most important parts about speedrunning in general. Usually, when people start speedrunning, they overlook the importance of creating a script, but in this video I'm going to explain why they're important and how they help you in the long run. A script is a path that you can follow that helps you in reducing the monster movement or allows you to walk in a path in a different manner and makes the hunt as predictable as possible. Scripts help you in understanding how the fight works and exploit all the openings that the fight gives you. Let me show you something. This is a prime example of a script. Here, Nugata knows that after a TCS, Apex Misu will get head toppled, so he tackles the roar, does a TCS and hits the head. After that, he builds up damage and makes a combo so that when Apex Misu recovers from the topple, he hits him with another TCS and throws him out of his enraged state and repeats the cycle. Easy, right? While doing a hunt, you want to meet certain criteria to kill the monster faster, maybe things like staggers, headlocks or other stuff. Think of these like tasks or goals. As long as you know what to do in the hunt and how to execute those goals, it gets easier to get a better time with each new attempt. You can divide the run in different sections, and depending on the AI of the monster, you can complete those sections of a run either faster or slower. To make a script, you need to understand the fight in different ways, like hit zones, and also introduce methods that reduce the monster's option in the fight. To create the strat, you usually want to plan ahead how you are gonna achieve a certain goal. Generally speaking, your first goal is getting the monster enraged as soon as possible. In most speedruns, almost as soon as the monster ends its run animation, they have already dealt enough damage to get the monster enraged, so we save our strats after that. Usually, you want to know how much damage or how many hits it takes to approximately enrage and flinch a monster so you can include it in the script. You also want to know the combos and attacks that you can get from flinching the monster. Another thing to take into account is how the monster behaves depending on your position or the monster state. Some monsters tend to perform certain attacks depending on your position, so you can place yourself in a different spot and lure the monster into doing a specific attack. There are a lot of paths that you can take, and through testing and practice you can determine which strategy is the strongest and easiest to implement for you. Something that really helps you in making a script is understanding the damage thresholds of the monster. If you know how many attacks it will take to trip a monster, you can plan ahead and start to predict when the monster is going to be staggered, helping you in either stopping the monster from doing a slow attack or a scripted break in one section of the hunt. And while you may be thinking, why should I attack another part of the monster when I can attack the weak spot, it's because you're trading damage for an opening that allows you to do more damage at the end of it. There is also the case that if you're not careful enough, sometimes when trying to go fast you surpass the damage thresholds while the monster is either KO'd, paralyzed, or in a flinch animation, and you reset the threshold counter, which ruins the entire script. There are also skills that help you to indirectly create or perform a script. Depending on your weapon, there are skills that don't increase your damage, but with how they work, they can actively change either your playstyle or the way you approach certain situations. An example of skills that indirectly increase your DPS are Earplug, Constitution, Power Prolonger, Wild Whisperer, Spare Shot, Ammo Up, Ballistics, Protective Polish. These skills can either create new openings or allow you to keep up the aggression. You can think of this like, in X situation I can't deal damage, but with Y skill I can. But before you go out there and use these skills in a run, you need to ask yourself, the rewards that I get from running these skills are better than using other damaging skills or not? Depending on the situation you're facing, you will have a lot of tools at your disposal, but which one are you gonna choose? Well, that is up to you to decide which one you prefer. I recommend you to analyze the situation with patience and think which one requires you the best when thinking about this. I can roll here and get in this position, which allows me to hit the monster weak spot, or I decide to keep attacking because I know that my next hit is going to stagger the monster. You need to consider a lot of stuff when creating a decision. Things like positioning, potential time saves, thresholds build up, and also consider all the consequences and uncertainties in the course of reaching this decision. Let me show you an example. Here, Diablos is going to jump towards you, and you want to decide between three options. You can Superman dive attack, you can use funny maneuver, or you can dunk him out of the air. Superman dive is a lengthy animation, and it doesn't travel a lot of distance, so it leaves you in an unfavorable position, so your only options are funny maneuver and dunking him. Funny maneuver leaves you in front of Diablos, so you can shoot him while he is finishing his recovery frames, but dunking him also leaves you in front of him. The opening that you receive from funny maneuver is shorter than when you stagger him in the air, but I receive a 10% damage buff from using it. Using exhaust ammo means that I need to preemptively shoot 2 exhaust level 2 ammo, but I can shoot the monster while I'm misaligned, and I know that I won't trigger more than 3 ticks in my elemental piercing shots. Also, funny maneuver has a lot of startup and recovery frames, so in this case, I prefer using exhaust ammo. Usually, when you try to get a good run, you need to get lucky with the monster AI, and while scripts help you to reduce this factor, you still need to consider it out. And the best way to increase our statistical likelihood of obtaining a lucky run is by resetting as quickly as possible so we don't spend a lot of time in an unwanted run. And this, in the long run, ends up being way faster than just not resetting every time something goes wrong. If the run at the start doesn't satisfy your standards, then it's less probable that it will do it at the end of it. When speedrunning, you should focus on getting lucky at the start of the run rather than at the end of it, because that side is unknown and you can lose a lot of time by trying to discover so. There's also a factor that doing a mistake places you in a bad mindset and affects the rest of the run's quality, but in my opinion, Average Trey explains this way better than I.
Early time loss may not prevent the possibility of a PB, but it does immediately hinder the quality of a PB. Not to mention, it worsens your mentality, which generally makes it harder to play well.
So yeah, I hope that this video was able to help you. All the links of the Speedrunners footage and all the music that I use will be linked in the description. I hope you have a fantastic day and good luck in your runs.